The most important artist of the post-war period in Australia, Nolan perhaps, Arthur Boyd for some, but the artist who probably made the biggest impact for Australia internationally was Fred Williams. Werribee Gorge II was painted in 1978, the very height of his fame, and the painting is a large example. It's 182 by 152 of Werribee. It's a typical Fred Williams type of subject. These Listerfield and Upwey and Werribee and the Yuyangs, these are subjects which we immediately associate with Fred Williams. They were around about Melbourne, in the hills, in the background, in the outlying districts, just not far from Melbourne. And typically Williams would go to these places and paint on the spot, and they would become the series or a subject of a series of paintings, and it was through the series that he would then exercise his idea over a group of paintings. In 1977, Fred Williams was probably at the height of his power. He had he'd been a famous artist in Australia since the mid-60s. In the mid-70s, he was invited to have a one-man show at the Museum of Modern Art in New York, which is a unique achievement for any Australian artist. And regrettably, at the time of his early death at the age of 55 in 1982, his career was still, he was still developing ideas. He never stopped drawing inspiration from earlier work and from other artists and developing his work in a very steady and kind of almost a phlegmatic, organic manner, his development. So in the mid to late 70s, you find Fred Williams is developing the landscape. He's actually gone back to the earlier ideas he first developed in the late 60s, where the horizon line has actually disappeared from the painting. It's actually disappeared above the line of the painting and outside of the painting's plane. What you get is this wonderful texture of the landscape seen from a distance, and you also get the beautiful line of the creek running through it as the main visual motif of the painting. You have the texture of trees, and just one element is creating the dynamic in the painting. Of course, the colour and the shimmering light that you get with the light shining on gum trees from a distance, that vibration that you get in the breeze, these are the things that Fred Williams has drawn to our attention. These are the things that he makes us conscious of when we go to the Australian bush. We wouldn't be looking at it the same way if it wasn't for Fred Williams. That's why he is Australia's greatest artist of the post-war period, and this painting, Werribee Gorge II, is a very, very fine example of Fred Williams at the height of his powers.